Hi, Sag. I am sorry this is a little bit late coming out because this is your November tarot reading. I say tarot, but it may be oracle. I never know until I turn around and see what the cards have to say. But I am sorry for getting the videos out a little bit late. To be blunt, I was already a little bit behind in the first place, and then my best friend died. So I just pushed things back a little bit further, and I do apologize. But with that being said, let's jump right into this. This is Sagittarius for November, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I always throw out there, if you're just coming to the channel and like you're coming as Venus in Sagittarius, no, first off, if you're watching the videos through me, I'm talking about sensitivity in your areas, because I don't see Venus as love. It's just the way that it is with me. I'm not meant to see Venus as love. I see Venus as sensitivities and where that takes you, whether it's positive or negative. With that being said, Spirit is pointing out some subconscious karmic debts that are being healed. They're pointing out some health, some diet, some hygiene, some really getting right with enjoyment. But what this is really all coming down to is like what we would call in astrology the first and second house. This would be your self-awareness. This would be your self-awareness topped off with self-value, self-esteem, and self-worth. And coming to really understanding new levels of healing within that. And the reason for this is, before I get into, they're saying definitely subconscious, hidden self, unconscious mind being brought forward. And in some cases, you're going to be dealing with prisons or government issues. For some, it's funerals. But this is all about higher education, higher spiritual urges, higher mind, coming into self-realization and where you want your hopes and goals to go. Is that it? For some of you, it's also going to be dealing with travel. Okay. One of the reasons why I can tell you it's some of the things that Spirit was just telling me to tell you is because in astrology, Jupiter has been in your sign all year. And Jupiter moves out on, I think, the 3rd of December. Now, you're going to hear everybody talking about how Jupiter has gone direct and finally came out of the shadow energy. And as it came out of the shadow energy, that means the forward movement is starting to happen. But for some of you, you may not feel that the forward movement is happening quite the way you want or the way you perceived it to be. And this would be because now that it's finally moving forward, it is moving forward, but at the same time, it's got another issue. Jupiter is only going to be in your sign, which is actually bringing everything to your awareness of Jupiter's higher mind, higher abundance, higher knowledge, the very magnet in your very awareness, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and what you want to do with that. But the thing is, it only has a month left to make sure in this forward movement that you got the memo it's been trying to teach you all year. So in a form, even though it's not in shadow anymore, now it's gone from, I'm getting ready to move forward and I've been assessing all the situations. I've been reevaluating everything. I've been really looking deep inside and I'm ready to actually start to move this forward. But, I only have like a minute to do it. So if I missed anything or you didn't catch what I've been trying to teach you, let me make sure that it got through your thick head real fast. So if you get some super fast whammies coming in, whether they're positive or negative, because you could very much be having very beneficial things happening. But if they're not so beneficial, that would be the subconscious holding on to the grief, sorrow, shame, and blame, with a lot of pride and fear keeping you from learning what Jupiter's tried to teach you. So it may hit under the belt because it only has up until December 3rd, when it moves into Capricorn, to go, yeah, got the memo, right? Because I'm not going to be back for another 12 years, I believe. So it goes through every sign once a year. So, I mean, technically it's not going to be back for 12 years. So this is the only chance it has to make sure. Say hi. Say hi, little brat face. To make sure that I got it through. It is ready to move forward and is ready to bring you all the beneficial energy you can. But if you're missing the memo, it can't bring it to you directly forward. It has to bring it to you from sideways energies until you start to get what it's been teaching you. So in one form, this is a very good time, but in another form, it may come in sideways because you maybe haven't learned quite the message yet. I just want to make sure that you're understanding that, because there's major changes going on with Sagittarius and Jupiter getting ready to leave. Ceres is also leaving on, I believe, the 16th, which is karma and the threefold theory. Also helping you to understand what you've been neglecting or nurturing properly. So both of them are going, did you get the memo? Because I'm running out of time to make sure you got it. Now, let's see what the cards have to say. Please let us. Okay. I'll show you that in a moment. Let us know anything else that is going on or around Sagittarius energy. What's manifesting? What's the core manifesting energies for Sagittarius for November? What is the core manifesting energies for Sagittarius for November? What is the core manifesting energies? Nope. I hate it when they stick. Then I can't tell which one it really is. I'm really weird that way. I don't like my decks to be, the shiny illuminated kind, because they stick and then I have problems. So I intentionally go after ones that are not that way. Very good. But there's still something else here, and then I will show it to you. Put them over here for the moment. Very, very good. First thing that came out is the Empress. The Empress. Okay, now look. For me, the Empress is very nurturing. This could also be Ceres getting ready to move and make sure she's showering her last piece of info on you. Because Ceres is nurturing energy or neglecting energy. But the Empress is very nurturing, very wise, and very knowledgeable. She's also pretty much in check with her feelings. The only thing she hasn't gotten down is what the Priestess or the High Priestess has gotten down. And that is to already be connected with everything, with the oneness. And magic is the Empress. Okay? She hasn't quite gotten into the magic yet, but she's getting into that Mother Maiden Crone. She's getting into that energy. She's moving up into that. It's coming with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is talking to you about trusting your intuition, trusting your knowledge, trusting what you are actually grounding, creating your own reality, and being able to bring it into fruition. This is very positive because what's coming up with it is virtue. But this says make sure what you are building here with this Wheel of Fortune is built with integrity. Think with integrity and with clarity is what I have here in my notes before you act. Okay? So the idea here is grow, mature, be strong, know everything that you're doing, be very grounded, be secure in yourself. Know that what you're bringing forward is a brand new change. The Wheel of Fortune is in your favor. very much in your own personal foundation is what Spirit is saying. Personal foundation with new inner emotional security and true self roots. But in order for it to truly be good, make sure that you're thinking with integrity and clarity about what you're putting that energy into. All right. I think that pretty much is pretty good for explaining it. Let's see. What is going on in your up close and personal relationships? Up close personal relationships. I don't always pick the card that falls with this deck because this deck's a little too big for my hands in the first place. So I drop them easily. What I'm getting of is the Two of Swords. Peace. Peace. This is dealing with the pros and cons. Kind of like what this is saying. Make sure that you're thinking with clarity. But now we're in up close and personal relationships. Dealing with your pros and cons. The back of the head is not coming forward. See, some of the stuff that I write is stuff that I get out of Hebrew. Passive, creative peace, but maybe a little stagnant, not quite moving on yet. And that might be exactly what you need at the moment. Like I said, you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Empress blessing it, more or less. Giving it strength. Somebody may be there in an Empress form, helping the Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor. But you're also getting clarity, virtue, think with integrity. Slow down for a minute. Your pros and cons. You might be stagnant for a little bit. But that makes sense. You have the new moon coming in on the 27th. Mercury's been in retrograde up until the 20th. All of this is happening in Scorpio. Very intense energies. And you're in between two new moons, both Scorpio. So this is definitely a major build up to a brand new beginning of some form. So this may be just, sit still for a minute. You might be needing to sit still until that new moon. What else is going on in the up close and personal relationships? Up close and personal relationships for Sag. What else is going on in the up-close personal relationships? The moon. Like I said, you're kind of sitting there and stagnant, weighing out your pros and cons. You're dealing with your subconscious coming forward. But the moon is also the second half of who we are. There's the sun during the day and the moon at night. So in one form, it's a part of us that we don't see as clearly. This may be just talking to you about seeing things in the relationship more clearly, getting a better perspective of the extroverted relationship itself. And I say extroverted because this is what Spirit just pointed to. So this may be going on outside of the relationship or just outside of yourself. But I am also getting very intellectually scattered. You need to be grounded, baby. You need to slow down and be grounded. Intellectually scattered, very elusive, the Prince of Swords. Flexible but penetrating, but elusive. Not necessarily going to be there. Okay? Very intellectually scattered. Weighing your pros and cons. You may be thinking too much. You may be thinking too much or just not thinking enough and kind of all over the place with the relationship. Maybe the actions of the relationships aren't being grounded enough for there to be a strong one. I mean, they could go either way. Okay, what am I not seeing that I should be seeing? What am I not seeing that I should be seeing? But what I heard is some dating and some romance. Maybe that's exactly a message. The Ace of Discs. There is a brand new beginning here. There's a brand new beginning. What I'm saying first off is there's a brand new beginning. You've got the moon. You've got peace. And you've got the Prince of Swords, very intellectually scattered, very elusive, very deep in your thoughts, maybe even a little dreamy, you know, weighing your pros and cons. Don't miss the chance. Don't miss the opportunity if it's there. I'm just saying, there might be something, it's an ace of discs. It's something to be brought into tangible reality. There's something definitely there blessing it. A brand new beginning, a brand new adventure, a brand new foundation of some form. The High Priestess is here. So you have somebody very important coming in your life or is already there. Maybe you're not acknowledging who they are, but it might be time that you really need to start acknowledging them because they're there for a reason in your life. And they're meant to be there, tangible reality. And they might even be helping you figure you out in a form. Might be very important in that sense. There may have been disappointment in the past. Because like I said, this is saying it's been elusive, come and go. There may have been a disappointment in the past. There may have been, this could be a water sign. It could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But you could also be dealing with earth signs, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. So you may be wallowing in your pity a little bit. You may be afraid to speak up. You may be afraid to go back and talk to this High Priestess. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Tell me more, please. Tell me more. Oh, okay, no. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Very inflexible about it. I feel like it's you. Like, very stubborn and stuck in your ways. You may be too stubborn to go back and talk to the High Priestess. Whether it's a girl or a guy. Tell me more, tell me more. Yeah, somewhere in the past, there's been a destructive power. So somewhere in the past, you're afraid to go back and talk to them. You may be afraid of loss. You've got now Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So it could be all over the board. But, I mean, for people. But somewhere in the past, either you got hurt, something didn't go down quite right. Maybe it was a brand new beginning that was meant to happen, but it didn't. But it's meant to happen again. The High Priestess is here. Okay, one last piece of advice here. One last piece of advice here, and up close and personal. One last piece of advice for Sag. Up close and personal. Advice. One last piece of advice. Well, you get the Princess of Swords. She can be volatile. Very much into the controversy. She can be very much into chaos. She can be very much, you know, grounded in her ideas and stuck in her way. And that's what I was just saying. I felt Sagittarius is feeling like. Seriously, no. Give me more. I mean, is this Sagittarius being this way, or is there more advice? Just missed it. Very adolescent emotions. Very adolescent emotions. Maybe this is still not the right time. Maybe it's the right person. Maybe it's the right person, but there's been too much, you know, too much negative action going on. But you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess here is saying that something has been missed. Something has been missed. Something has been overlooked emotionally, not being connected to the truth in the situation somehow. But if the High Priestess is coming up and all these cards keep saying the same thing, they're really not going to tell me much else. Yeah. Somebody's been crying in their sleep. Cruelty, guilt, sorrow, shame, regret. I would say if you got something to say it. Because if you're just wallowing in your pity, that's just you wallowing in your pity. And the situation is still not healed. Still not solved. So, that's the way I'm seeing it. Ace of Cups. It's meant to be a relationship of some form. This might be helping you love yourself, know yourself better, but there's something here that has caused pain, caused some sorrow, caused doubt, fear, anxiety. But that High Priestess was meant to be there in this situation in one way or another. Like I said, High Priestess does not mean it has to be a woman at all. It does not have to be a woman at all. But it's also a Cancer sign. I couldn't remember. That's why I write all the notes on top of everything. So, I mean, definitely in your emotional waters. Maybe not a Cancer, but maybe a water sign, but it could be kind of all over the board. And it's definitely got magic. Whoever, this relationship, this person definitely has magic. Definitely, you know, it feels something there. But you may really need to fess up. Maybe it's saying, I'm sorry. Maybe it's coming forward with whatever hasn't been forward. I don't usually go this far into like love or relationship readings, but they just keep coming because there is success there meant to happen. But apparently the healing of whatever didn't come through at first needs to take place first. Because now you've got the Four of Power, which is 4 of Discs. This is forming a brand new foundation. So it could be a very positive thing, but apparently you're going to have to do some, I don't want to say sucking up, but stepping up. Stepping up to the plate, doing some real deep down conversations. The Emperor, I'm seeing this is definitely a union that is supposed to be of some form. Okay, let's get out of this. Let me have all my cards back, because you just went completely nuts on me. Tell me about the exterior world. Finances. Career. Goals, dreams. The Hermit. So you either have been inward or they're telling you to go inward. What is going on in the finance department? The goals, the dreams department. Started to say direction. So maybe this is finding a new direction too. Fluidity. Pointless self-sabotage. You might have been in your head too much with pointless self-sabotage. The Hermit usually goes in and waits for the illumination to come forward. But maybe you're not looking for illumination. Maybe you're meaning to look for the illumination. But what you're really doing is beating yourself up. This is kind of going back to the other. But it might move over into the into business, finances, goals, dreams. Sometimes they intertwine that way. Maybe you've been beating yourself up too much in your head. Too much self-sabotage, too much self-doubt. What's going on? The Knight of Wands is asking you to connect to your fire. Connect to your fire, go after it. Go after, stop the self-sabotage, get out of your head. No more bullshit talking bad to yourself about these things. This is about coming into a true self-realization, true intimate passion of the direction and the goals you want. It could also deal with the relationship up close and personal, but this is more about your goals, your ambitions. This is more about your hopes, your dreams. And where that takes the self-realization. This is saying get out of your head and go after it. It could be a very swift and sudden change. Ace of Cups coming back up. So there's something here you're definitely supposed to be going after. But it also is meant to help you love yourself as well. Help you, because it's definitely a union of some form. But we're talking about your dreams, your hopes, your goals. That could be with the other person. It could be something that's carrying over. But like I said, if it's coming up here, this is also saying make sure that you're getting your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. You're getting right with yourself as you build this. Because you're quite capable of reaping the rewards of anything you want. I mean, come on, you're ruled by Jupiter. You're lucky in the first place. You're very capable of getting what you want. But this is saying that learning through experience, realizing there's been a hiccup, realizing, okay, let me pick myself up and dust myself off and move forward. And that's exactly what you will start doing. I mean, you got the universe here. I mean, you very much have a very positive read coming through. There's been a hiccup somewhere in the past. There's been somebody that's been overlooked or let go in the past. Or that person's caused you the pain. But you already know who it is. Because they caused sorrow. They caused sorrow. They caused, you to be questioning your wholeness. You felt abandonment. Fears were brought out because of it. Fields of perception and realization were questioned. So you know who that person is. You know who the High Priestess is. Okay, what's going on the introverted level for Sag? Okay, that's uncalled for. What is going on? Still very stuck in adolescent emotions. Very quick to make a decision. A little bit childish emotions. Sagittarius, you guys are quick with your passion. You're quick with your fire. That's just part of what you are. You need to ground yourself and really figure out what you want. Because it seems like you're talking some shit to yourself. And there's also usually scenes that you can't be relied upon. And this is the introverted self, which means there's grief, sorrow, shame, blame, hidden self-deception, hidden self-undoing that you've created. And only you can uncreate it by realizing it. The Hermit. You've been in your head too much thinking. But it doesn't seem like you've been taking the actions. And it seems like what you're doing is you're recycling the energy. Like you come up with this idea, and then you talk yourself into this idea. And then you turn around and talk yourself into this idea. They're agreeing. Works. This is, reaping the rewards. You're not reaping the rewards because you're in your head over and over and over again. You're talking so much shit to yourself, you don't even know the shit you're talking, is what it seems like. This is telling you, this is also about loving yourself, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, knowing it, trusting it. This has to do with Jupiter just coming out of retrograde, being in shadow, and now it only has so much time to go before it moves. So, I mean, it is throwing a lot at you, but deeply listen to your soulfulness, because it's going to bring you to a full new completion for a brand new beginning. You have everything really going for you. It's all depending on if you doubt yourself. Realize what you have. Realize what you have, appreciate what you have, and get past the boredom of the temporary pleasure. And I said right off the bat, they said something to do with realizing a new level of enjoyment, a new level of pleasure, new level of allowing your child to truly be what creates and brings that authenticity to you. Stop questioning it. I love you guys. Bye.